Hello, Steve Dean, lineandpencil.com. This is the second video of the giraffe, this little chap here, and this is where we got so far. You can see that. And now we're going to add some colour. That's the idea. Yeah, we'll put some colour in, and then so the eyes are very dark in contrast to this part of the fur. Are they not? Yeah, and the markings. So for the colours, we can use watercolour pencils, Staedtler carrot, a lighter brown and a darker brown, but bear with me with the tint of the card, that might not be required, the lighter one. So we're going to stick with the darker colour at the moment, and then Carbothello chalk stabilo is the make pencil for the white sections here and here and here. Watercolour pencils when needed. There's a water pen just to be used. Very light because the card again might cockle. We call it cockling when it ripples a little bit, but hoping that isn't the case because it being a card medium that I'm drawing and applying the watercolour on. So, which without much more ado and delay, let's get going. So we're going to go for the top forehead area here first, which you can see is there's quite a few shadows. The sunlight coming in there, right down the bone area of his head and the snout, 2 nostrils. With the nostrils in mind, I'm going to use the charcoal pencil 2B. Okay, let's go. We're just doing some sweeping strokes for the shading and to make it look more, quite short, the hair around this section, isn't it, the forehead. So again, very light, firm to light touches across this card. And we get the patterns emerging. One there, a little bit darker there. Just add some pressure on the pencil if you want to make it a bit darker, right there. And again, we'll take the pattern up through the bony section of the nose and a bone down here. Again, sweeping to around roughly about there. Got some guidelines there, that's the end of the shadow if you like. And some striations coming out around the nostrils. Still a bit shaded there and there. And then round down to the muzzle or upper area of the lip. Quite light here though, isn't it? So we're just be light, very light touch with the pencil there. Just go very lightly. There's virtually grey there. I imagine very soft from what I can see on that photo. The muzzle area. And then we pick up these patterns there. They're pretty random. And another one maybe there. One there. And there. Another jawline. Around the cheek here, just this section. The eye, just under the eye socket there. And sneak around the back and there, going up the jaw area. Jaw area, not draw, jaw area. And there. Quite heavy around this bit. With this, find out what they're called, spots or markings. Markings of the skin. And be pretty liberal with the pencil. It's a load here, smaller ones up here. So quickly apply. Seems to blend then into the actual overall colour of the coat, doesn't it? From that way. Like that. Over there. And in the dark furrow for the head. Flecks of white in there as well. Was it grey hair? I don't know. No, I don't think so. It's just to change the pigmentation of the hair. There's light spots on the top, which I'll add later with the white chalk. And then we go down here. And there's a shadow then coming across that eye there, isn't there? So if we can get that in. And here then. And a lighter there. Some striations around the eye. And it'll be. So I think the one section then, I'll just cut that off a little bit. Change the colour slightly to this one. See how that comes out. It's a little bit lighter on the neck because the light is getting under there. It's coming in, just there, very virtually white there. The glare of the sunlight in the photo. And guess what? The lead's broken. Oh, great. Okay, so just find another way of getting down to that lead. It's not advisable the way I'm cutting this off. Normally you should use a pencil sharpener. Here we go. We're back to in business. Side. Let's get those patches, coloured markings of the giraffe against the white. Very light on there. Well, up here, darker there because it's behind the head. The sunlight's coming in from this side. And a little bit of light there. Very light touch. Obviously there's a bit of brown in the light, sunlight. And then what we do now is we'll darken the eyes with the charcoal. That. Go down here underneath the eye. Just a little highlight round the rim of the eye. That's the most prominent part, bulbousness of that. And also the highlights in the actual, near the pupil of the eye, which is there. And normally picked out as quite dark. That gives the character of the eye. It brings out the window. Bulbous as well. On the giraffe, they've got peripheral vision, are supposed to look behind them. Like a lot of animals, their eyes are on the side of their head, and that's due to danger, any danger behind them. You can see it immediately. A lion or a predator coming up behind. Just darken that quite a bit. Remind yourself that need to leave a highlight there, very square, because it's a reflection of what is around in the natural world. And this up here is white. There's a little bit of a brown mark in there, isn't there? That'll do. And then we've got these ones we haven't put in as well. And some layers of skin around the ears where it's very delicate. And then go over the lighter as well. You've got the dark coming through underneath, and then you've got the lighter top layer. There. now. Bit more there. And then charcoal again for the nostril, just here. A bit of top. Don't be too precious about it, just get the colours in there. If you will, you just drag it with your small finger. Might get some charcoal on your finger, so be careful not to put it and scratch your eye or your forehead. You'll have a big black mark on your face, which is not ideal. But the darker nostril there, just pick that out. The cavity of the nostril, which is where the sun can't get in. Just dampen that. And there's that little crest there, isn't there? There's a bony ridge here, just here, very light just there. I'll pick that out though with the white chalk pencil in a moment. And there's a little bit of grey maybe, and lots of hair follicles in the ground, makeup of the giraffe. Pick them out. I'm going to put some white ones in to finish. The eye here is quite light because that sun's hitting right on the pupil, the retina, pupil, both in fact. So it's very translucent. Slightly high there. Bring that down a bit. And then the ears are very dark, aren't they? Let's just add the ear cavity. And that shape, like a waffle shape. And grey tint lighter on the outside. Rather squeaky surface here. Reminds you of like the chalk on the blackboard. And dull that, give it a little bit of density right in the middle, and then pull it out to the surrounding inside of the ear to give that impression of texture. Yeah, and we'll again do the same here. Finger or small finger, just pull it out again. It gives it shadows as well. If you take it from the middle, inside of the cavity, it's a lot more dense. Sunlight doesn't get there. A little bit of mid-tone there. And then I think there's two more things we've got to do. Darken the tongue. Hanging over a little bit underneath the top mouth. The lower section is a little bit darker there. Looks like the palate of the lower part of the mouth, doesn't it? There. And then white chalk now. So this is going to take on whole new direction after this. In fact, I should go to the top, because what's going to happen is I'm going to smudge all that bottom section down here if I don't. Let's start from the top way down. Just get some highlights in there where the sun is hitting, down here and over here. And here's really, yeah, really bright. Just a bit. Yeah, you'll get my drift, I think. And you see it coming alive now a little bit more with the highlights there. And really lay the light chalk in among there, right on the top of the eye socket. And flick out get this hair all highlighted here. You can see that. Mixing in the lighter brown with the coat now. And you should get it blending, which is exactly what you want. Over there and then over the ridge. One sort of line. And what we do then, we pull it again with maybe a cleaner finger, just up the paper. Blend it in. You can use a paper roll, they call it. Oh, there's a name for it, I can't, so I'm tripping off the top of my tongue at the moment. A little bit of sunlight getting through there, between the toe. The horns, these two are horns. The stem there. Hold that clay. A bit more down here, we get that in. If we work down the page, and we also work from the top down in the situation. And highlight around the nostril. It's virtually white here. Can you see that? Just round the lip and then into the shadows. We pull it round a bit there. Just brush that dust off. Real highlight in on this side. And then the white sections here. White all over now, I think. All around here, around the eye socket, it's very much lighter. And get it's white, not even grey, is it? here. And the light coming in from here, hitting the top prominent bits of the ear, which is exactly the animal, because of the animal standing where he's standing, and where the sun, position of the sun is to that giraffe, where the giraffe is standing. A little bit of shadow now going into the shadow. So a lot of hair there. Pull it round a bit until we can blend in into a grey, the inner of this side of the ear. And the markings on the fur, skin of the animal. It's a giraffe's coat, should I say. It's more of a giraffe's coat than his skin, isn't it? Very short hair. Giraffes, not very shaggy coats. They've got very close to the body, a short hair animal, I'd say. Here, oh, I just knocked the camera there, sorry. My enthusiasm to get nearer to the giraffe, the subject of the art. There we go. And let's just a little bit. Around there. Got hair on the right ear. Clearly there's a demarcation line there between the light bits, the forehead on the giraffe. So we can pick that up and not to make it too much of a hard line, but it's just that balance between in the shadow into the fur here, there, and then the shadow ending there, and then the light bits coming in. What we'll do is put a little bit of dark fleck in there, and to bring it out, a little bit of white round there, and down here a lot more whited tone, not so much that it ends there. Bring that colour into western. A bit over here. A lot of white under here, surprisingly, because it's normally a little bit darker under the jawline. A lot of animals. It's grey here, and I'll highlight the grey by making it white around this section. There's an awful lot of white, to be honest. The bulk of the white now down the neck, and we'll get to the end of the drawing now. Darker under the jawline, but it doesn't seem to be because the sunlight's hitting here direct, so it really is hitting that brown as well. Markings on the coat. Making virtually the brown bits here as light as possible. There's so much, it's quite a strong sun rays. It's on the plain of Africa, no doubt. The photo was taken. Nearly down to a fine tip with the other side of the pencil. Let's just level that up a bit. You see it's can be flat there. Not pressing too hard, just quick sketch backwards and forwards. Get an idea of it is you're filling in where the tinted card is. Just down here. Got a little streak up there. Sorry, knocking the camera again. That's not good, is it? And then we'll virtually there now. A little bit of highlight there. And a little tad highlight. Mainly though, there's that black, those black hairs. There's a lot of light hairs here. A bit of lightness around the bottom gum of the mouth, the bottom part of the mouth. And then some grey in there. I'll mix that in with the charcoal. Again, lightly here. So we don't want it to go. Right there on that bit. Again, not too white. There's a contrast in bringing that grey out, and it's a little bit more prominent. It's more forward. The back white piece, back of the muzzle there. That's lighter there. Let's see if we can. We start to blend it in, very subtly, and then around here, just run it over with your fingers. You tend to find it all blending very lightly. Simplify the jawline there a little bit. And then rub that where the sun shines. Rub that heavy. Not so on there. Just a little bit lighter touch. And then in here is a shadow, so it's a bit darker there. And you give it a that's the forehead. The ear is actually behind. And I think virtually there now. I said that about 10 minutes ago. It's now knowing when to let go of the drawing and say it's finished. More there. The nostril seems to be a little bit higher there. Let's bring that down a bit. Flattening that off. Quite a heavy drawn index finger, and then pull it out somewhat. And like that, you've got that. I think we've done. More brown in it. Push it up. Darker. There's a little bit of the cavities there, just above the ear, the eye socket, not the ear, the eye socket, just over. Darken that a little bit. Again, here, as I say, I'm moving that in and over. I think we'll leave it as is. If you touch it too much, if you do too much, you end up overplaying it, and that's not what it's all about. And one last touch, just flick those out there. It brings the character of the eyes out. Define the mouth a little bit there. And the heart. A bit like this in it. Sign it. And I think we're done. Okay, there we go. I think we're done, and thank you very much for watching. It's Steve Dean at lineandpencil.com. And look at my channel on YouTube, same name, lineandpencil.com, and watch out for my next video. Thank you.